let's get started. So thank you everybody for joining for our third webinar as part of our series on Exchange and Expire. And this is really all about bringing together practitioners from different countries to connect and exchange with our real-world lab hosts on disaster risk management, emergency response, climate change adaptation, and share practices, challenges, and ideas to kind of inspire the work in directed and kind of exchange our knowledge. So yeah, we're very happy today to have Mr. Zdravko Maximovic. I hope I got that right, probably not, who is from the City of Kraljevo, the head of civil protection, and he's going to talk to us today about the West Morava River Basin inter-municipal collaboration and examples of good practice that they're doing in terms of, for example, engaging civil society and civil protection as well. So really looking forward to his presentation. And just in case there's anybody here who is outside of the directed project, just to give you a little bit of background on our real world labs. So we have 4 different real-world labs, and each of these are bringing together different disaster risk reduction, emergency response, climate change adaptation actors in their own regions, and they are working towards solutions through knowledge co-production and analysing risk governance, and will come up with tailored solutions for each of the real-world labs, given the supports in the directed project. And yeah, the idea of the series is to facilitate more exchange with other practitioners outside of our real world labs, to try and exchange and support learning in our own real world labs. So we're really happy today to have Zdravko here to share his experiences in Serbia. So one of our labs is actually the Danube. Within the Danube, we are focusing on Vienna and the Zala region in Hungary. And of course, Serbia does overlap. I don't think that the Kaljevo region actually overlaps. That's focusing on the West Morava River Basin, but still some of that learning and exchange, I'm sure, will be particularly useful for the Danube Real World Lab. So yeah, first I'd like to introduce Zdravko. So he is the head of civil protection in the City of Kraljevo since 2013, and he is responsible for the administrative and technical activities of the emergency headquarters, and he is managing the joint action on disaster risk reduction with other municipalities. So these are across the West Morava River Basin, and he's also involved in lots of other things in terms of the development of the risk assessment, rescue plans, programme development of the City of Kraljevo for protection and rescue. And I was very lucky to meet Zdravko as part of my PhD research back in 2018, and got to visit his municipality and engage and do some research in his local area. So that has been a really great experience, and so happy to reconnect and to invite him here to exchange with the directed group. So I will hand over to Zdravko now to set off the presentation, and I think he's going to share his screen directly. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Thank you, Zdravko.
Thank you, Lydia. I hope you are all seeing my screen. Yes, it's
no,
okay.
I'm not seeing it.
Me neither.
Just a second.
Yeah, I think it's coming now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it now okay?
Yeah,
yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia, for inviting me and for this introducing. First of all, I just want to say sorry for my bad English. I know it's very it's very rough, but I don't have actually opportunity, a lot to speak on English. But I'm going to try, just to focus on my presentation, and I prepare some written, text for this occasion, just not to miss something, to present. What happened to us actually? It was something 14 years ago now. It was 2010, a big earthquake that hit our city of Kraljevo. It was just 5.4 Richter on scale, but the real problem was because epicenter was in the center of town, and after that we had like 600 aftershocks or after earthquakes, little bit smaller, but on the scale. But it's very important that we know that our urban area was hit by this earthquake. Um, First, I'm going to tell something about my city, City of Kraljevo, and our system of civil protection in City of Kraljevo, because you are going to just have a better understanding of this inter-municipal corporation in River Basin, West Morava, in Serbia. What was very important for us and for the disaster risk reduction system, or system of civil protection in our city, City of Kraljevo, and not just in City of Kraljevo, but we call Serbia, in all our country in that time, was that institutional impact of that disaster, because after that earthquake, we established a special department in our local administration for post earthquake reconstruction, yes, for rebuilding everything that was demolished and ruined in this disaster. This organization unit in years that followed actually that we had landslides, floods after this earthquake 2010 in following years. 2014, after major floods that hit two-thirds of our country, of Republic of Serbia, territory of Republic of Serbia, that department just grew into Department for Civil Protection. You know, we just go from reconstruction to prevention. Yes, if I can say like that, and that was very important institutional road for development, not just civil protection in our city, City of Kraljevo, but in whole Serbia, because that was the example for other municipality how to prepare their local community when we are speaking about disaster risk reduction system. What are the tasks of our department? The main task of this department, Department for Civil Protection Affairs, is the organization of civil protection system. Yes, actually, that's the parallel or the same system as you called it, disaster risk reduction system. Why I'm telling this? Because we don't separate civil protection from disaster risk, DRR management, disaster risk management, because actually in our city, City of Kraljevo, disaster risk management is our department for civil protection. Additionally, our department is dealing with assessment in this process after disaster, damages and losses, and needs for reconstruction after disasters. In relation to our law in our country, every local government, self-government has obligation to have to form this local headquarter for emergency situation. Our department is the central point for functioning this local headquarter for emergency situation for our city of Kraljevo. Additionally, important task of our department is drafting these documents of DRR, disaster risk reduction, or civil protection system, like disaster risk assessment, protection and rescue plans, disaster risk reduction plans, organization and functioning of civil protection documents, etc. it's like a big set of documents. It's like we are something we are doing in normative, yes, framework for civil protection and DRR system in our city of Kraljevo. What actually we are doing and what does our civil protection system consist of. With drafting these documents, we are not just focusing on results like risks that we want to identify or some messages that we want to send to general public. No, we want to have all actors there who could help us for these topics, you know, and not just to have a better documents, but we want to involve those actors in our system, you know, to introduce them to others, you know, to build these connections between different actors. It's very important, and most important to build connections between local authorities or national authorities with non-government organization. You know, it's very important to have these kinds of connections or bridges, you know, of cooperation between these different organizations, because they don't have really many opportunity to, you know, to meet each other. And it's very important that before disasters, we, you know, just introduce ourselves in the ways that each other know who is capable for what and who is going to deal with what when it's happening. You know, it's our main task. You know, like to build this platform of DRR or civil protection. You know, it's not just document; it's a platform actually. In our risk assessment, we identified this most valued risk with most biggest, yes, in intensity, yes, and it actually it's unexpected. It's something that we need to deal with in our risk reducing plans. And it's for now it's these three risks that you can see on this slide. It's earthquake, floods, and landslides. But actually, in new risk assessment, we are going, you know, just to add two more risks. It's pandemic, and forest fires. You know, and we are going to have like 5 risks for our territory that we, you know, just want to treat with different measures in the future. For the purpose of conducting training, the City of Kraljevo has a special facility. I think, Lydia, you were there in 2018. Yes? No?
No, I never managed to actually visit it, no,
Yeah,
but I've heard a
sorry.
lot about it.
Sorry, next time. That is our center for training of civil protection members. Actually, this facility, the first training center at the local level in our country, and in next period, it's going to be like the first regional civil protection training center. You know, it's very important for us to have this kind of infrastructure just to deal with all obligation that we have, and it's not just a matter of obligation, but it's actually more matter of needs, you know, that we need just to go there. It's village 100 kilometers far away from my office, and you are not leaving territory of City of Kraljevo. You know, that's big territory of City of Kraljevo is just to you know, show you that this is very important part of our activities. This is some future, yes, plans. This going to this is a project with our government that we are now proceeding and with UNDP, and I think this or maybe next year it's going to be finished, and this regional center is going to look like this. It's going to be modern, but what's important for us that we have all that we need in that center for producing these trainings for civil protection. And it's very important for you to know that members of civil protection in City of Kraljevo is common citizens. It's citizens from villages, from schools, from employees, schools, from some private firms. We don't have like rules that it's going to be some professionals. No, we deal with every part of our society or community, local community, and that's very important. Big part of our job on this training process goes to work with people with disabilities, with their organizations, because it's very important that we have this kind of sensitive groups include in our system civil protection, not just like victims, but actually like actors or like some who have a role when our civil protection system is doing something, when it's in action. Civil protection system is present in every school in our territory of City of Kraljevo, not just elementary, but in high school. And we have every year we have conduct exercise in the same time in every school in City of Kraljevo. Actually, that's we are using this 13 October of DRR Day, yes, International DRR Day for conducting this exercise. And in that day, every school have this kind of action, doing something with their staff, with kids alone, without professionals, just on their own. It's very important that we have this kind of movement there, as the risk of flooding is expressed through the entire territory of the city, regular exercises are carried out to set up mobile anti-flood systems. That's something new in our work. Special critical points have been determined on the wider territory of the City of Kraljevo, where mobile anti-flood system can be used in order to prevent floods. We just managed to procure these anti-mobile systems with some project. It's like 600 meters of this system. It's not just for City of Kraljevo, it's actually for whole river basin of West Morava River. And it's important that we identify these critical points where we can use this mobile system, and we train with our civil protection members for fast reaction, and not just with members of civil protection, but with private firms who is, in risks of flooding it. And that's very important to have this kind of connection with private sector or commercial sector, not just citizens, not just institutions like schools or public firm, but you need to involve, and private firm in your system. Process of erosion and landslides are another, risk for the territory of the city of Kraljevo, not just for city of Kraljevo, but whole West Morava. And actually, we are dealing with that, very, it's very tricky and it's very hard for us, just to have this kind of unified solutions. But now we are trying to just launch these nature-based solutions with our international partners, and we have this I'm going to say like demo fields in one village called Gledic. It's on opposite side from village Rudno. It's 150 kilometers far away, but you are still in the city of Kraljevo, And in that village of Gledic, we are conducting different biodiversity measures for just improving biodiversity there, And it's very important because we are involving local community like farmers and others to just share with them good practice and this kind of acting, and measures. And I need to add that we have like a special budget line in our local budget for nature-based solutions. It's something that we managed to just have like impact on our politicians here, that they put a special budget line for this kind of activity. It's not like big money, but it's enough for some kind of works, And with our public firms, we are, just trying to have some measures implementing on that part of our territory who is just in risk for landslides or erosion. Nearby monastery Studenica, it's UNESCO protected monastery. We just built this visitory center. That center is for monitoring of forest fires, but actually we are using for monitoring this biodiversity there. It's very important because we don't have a lot of people living and working there, and we have this kind of approach with sensors and some kind of video monitoring, just filming there. And we are pairing that with our partners and trying, just to reach out, moments when something is occurred there and could happen like forest fire or something like that, And that is that part of our territory is in big risk from forest fires. Through our department, we launched in last, I think, 8 years, yes, from 2016. We launched this project or activity. It's not project, actually, it's activity, small civil protection. As part of this activity, which include continuous education in schools, in all schools in City of Kraljevo. We created with our National Theater here in Kraljevo, we created a special theater play called What If Happened, for kids. It's very important that, we have this kind of approach to our youngest population. And on that way, we just, try to foster our awareness on all community when we are speaking about civil protection and disaster risk reduction. Here is some slides for that theater play. What if it happened? This actually theater play includes not just react in case of fire, but in case of with earthquake dealing and with some explosions or some kind of accident with explosion, materials. And now we come to this inter-municipal corporation in West Morava. It is cooperation within this part of our Serbia that include 19 local self-governments, 5 cities, and 14 municipalities. And it's like 900 inhabitants there living on that area. It is one of the biggest area in Serbia. Actually, it's not administrational area. We don't have this kind of regions, like West Morava or Basin regions, but we have this kind of inter-municipal corporation. It's very important that you know that it's not like in Italy where you have this kind of regional, differences or level of acting. We have just national and local authorities, but we are trying to establish this like regional, some kind of regional action, but actually that is action from a local level. It's very important that you know that this is action from local level. After floods 2014, because Kaljevo had like most experience with risks and disasters, we just initiated this kind of corporation because we recognize these needs for corporation, not just for better action when something occurred, but for better prevention measures and for better understanding risks, because no one has enough knowledge about risks, about needs, about plans, everything that we need to work, At the end of the day, we don't have enough resources, just we don't have enough people in action to deal with everything. And because of that, we need, just communication and cooperation that is going to give us a better results, or answers for something that we need, just to solve. In February 2017, just 3 years after these major floods, special protocol between these local self-governments was signed here in City of Kraljevo. That was the first of that kind in our country. After that, because law didn't, just give us opportunity to cooperate in operational, phase. It was just cooperation in some documents or planning. We just reacted in way that we called our ministry and asked them to change a law, and actually 2 years after that they changed the law and give us opportunity to cooperate better, to have a better cooperation, to have a more operational cooperation. It's not just on paper. We are going to have some kind of action of these different municipalities, cities and municipalities. And 2020, 4 years ago, in June, we signed a new agreement with all 19 municipalities, cities and municipalities in West Morava River Basin. And we obligated that we are going to establish a special common service for all 19 municipalities, and to have this regional center for training civil protection units, and just to build, together to build a civil protection system on the whole territory of West Morava, like joints, like some kind of joint action. It's very important that we include not just institutionals here, not just governments representatives in this action, but on our meetings we called like academia or some kind of non-government organization. It was like over 50 meetings that we had before we signed this cooperation agreement. And it's very important that we present ourselves to general public. I think that it's very important. Why? Because on that way we are going to have this kind of support, not just from politicians, but from others in our communities, from citizens, from public, private firms, or etc. And it's important that civil protection includes everyone. It's not just system for themselves, but we need to include everyone in civil protection. Civil protection is the biggest system in DRR. You don't have a larger system, in DRR system, and that's your opportunity, not just to give protection to civilians, but to bring civilians to you, to take part, in your system. They need to be, they have to, just to be, just with active roles in your system, with tasks and everything, to protect not just themselves, but their neighbors, their families, and others. It's very important that we have this kind of impact on our communities. Some more results of civil protection, of course. Just a second. During the coronavirus pandemic 2020-2023, these 3 years of our action in City of Kraljevo, over 20 members of the civil protection engaged in these actions. Over 1,000 entrants of residential buildings we disinfected with 5 times. It's big job for us that we have done. Over 3 million square meters of disinfected surfaces in City of Kraljevo. 10,000 family plans and instruction for the pandemic distributed to householders and the population. 52 villages visited, 32 local self-governments in the country were helped by civil protection, etc. You know, it was a big time for civil protection in the city of Kraljevo. We were like main strengths or forces in our city of Kraljevo during Corona pandemic, and after that, when we vaccinated, you know, people, civil protection took, you know, just a great role to give this kind of logistic to medical staff. What's going to do next? We are going to draft this disaster risk assessment and reduction plan, DRR plan for West Morava River Basin. We are going to finish this regional center for civil protection trainings. To finish with this work with establishing a joint service for 19 municipalities. Very important thing is to, and task is to early warning system for West Morava River Basin. And we are going to just continue with training and inclusion, you know, all population in West Morava River Basin in civil protection system. I just want to say that two things for our city of Kraljevo. It's very important. That's something on philosophical base, yes, basis that if you don't include your most sensitive categories, you know, in your planning or in your action, then your response is not going to be good enough, you know, when disaster is occurred, you know, when something is happening, you know, because that's the measure of your system, how you react and how fast you recover, you know. If you don't include everyone, especially these most vulnerable groups, people with disabilities, you know, you're not going to have this kind of answer or action that you need to have when disaster is happening. And for inter-municipal corporation, it's very important for learning each other, you know, on examples of good, but also on examples of bad practices, because we are just speaking about examples of good. We have, you know, so many examples of bad practices that we need to share each other, you know, just to maybe to avoid in future that kind of mistakes. It's very important. Inter-municipal corporation is very important in moments when something is happening for helping each others, yes, but actually maybe it's more important in moments after disasters, when we are speaking about recovery and maybe you know, helping about risk, about assessment in losses and damages and needs or something like that. It's very important that we have this kind of cooperation. And at the end, I'm just focusing this on all my on every my occurrence in public, that we have this better understanding and identifying risk and opportunities and solutions, you know. Yeah, we need to cooperate, we need to speak, we need to have this kind of interactions, And because of that, we are going to publish and to launch, not just to publish, 20 good examples of DRR in West Morava River Basin. It's something that I just, because I saw that I'm with time.
Amazing. Thank
And
you so much.
yes,
Thank you so much, Zdravko.
That's for me for now.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And they were very strong key messages there around inclusion and cooperation and collaboration. And they're very much what we're aiming to do within the directed real world labs. So yeah, I see lots of clapping going on there. And really, I know myself that a lot of that work would not be happening if it wasn't for people like you and boundary spanning people and leaders like you at the local level that can really push up and inspire and bring people along and advocate for these changes and these collaborations that are so important. So a big well done to you for making these wonderful things happen. I see Ben has his hand up.